Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever it is, wherever you are, welcome on in to this Speed Gaming presentation of Link to the Past Randomizer League. This is the Open League. It is week 7. It is co-op Randomizer. And we have got a matchup here between Cabookey Hundo Activist Department, the team of Norsk Maddie and SJ versus Grouchy Old Men, Umaga and Slowpoke. My name is Westside Vandal. Here in the booth with me is Esper Hub.
How y'all doing today?
All right. This is gonna be an interesting match to look for here. Grouchy Old Men basically looking to play spoiler at this point to we'll go ahead and use the meme name of Chad, as they are sitting at 24 points in a pretty solid standing for a potential wildcard berth.
Yep, we're near the tail end of our season here. We have, I believe, this is like the last week, isn't it not?
This is the last week of the regular season, yes.
So yeah, they're looking to close it out on a solid win today. One thing to note is that I think a few of these are familiar with some of the competitors with one another, so you may get some playful banter here and there.
Yep. Coming into this week, it really is just kind of a tale of two teams here as we are getting underway.
Lantern in Sanctuary, Shovel in Link's house.
All right. So, to answer a question from chat, is Cabookey a play on the Great Cabookey? I mean, it could potentially be partially that, but that is also a shortened form of a mode that some people enjoy. I believe it's casual, like a combination of like casual boots and cross keys. If I remember correctly?
Casual boots, cross keys.
Okay.
It's one of the more favorite modes back then that everyone enjoyed playing, I believe, last year or so.
Key Sanity, yeah. Kazboot, all dungeons Key Sanity, aka Cabookey Hundo. Okay.
It's a mouthful, but it definitely fits everything without saying it all together, for sure. But, yeah. On top of it, so the fun thing, yes, you know, is saying that where's all the guard knights and everything? This is also the Randomizer, meaning all the enemies are shuffled. Mm-hmm. So you're going to see a lot of weird things and see here and there places that you may not expect to see.
And as part of that enemy shuffle, we the rule set we are playing on for the Randomizer is, as you can see on the screen, full boss shuffle, which means there are of course the bosses of each dungeon, so there are 10 bosses, but then there are also 3 that you see repeated in normal gameplay, that being Armos Knights, Moldorm, and Landless have refights in Ganon's Tower. In full boss shuffle, not only are all of these all the bosses' locations randomized, but there are also 3 bosses chosen at random to have 2 copies put into the pool. So we could see, for example, Helmassar in both Thieves Town and Ice Palace. Actually, that may not be possible, but you get the general idea.
Personally, I'd have preferred Helmsar to be specifically in the Skull Woods for hilarity reasons.
Yes.
And of course, probably the worst combination could be is Vidian Skull Woods, because
yeah. Why? But why though? We've been honestly, I'm kind of surprised by how bare the start of this race has been so far. We've only really found the lamp and the shovel. We did start with the boots, by the way.
Yeah, with boots it makes moving around a lot more easier to manage. But still, just for this area, especially Kakariko Village being barren, it just feels weird and off.
Also, I gotta say, I love the gumption of going for a fake flipper when there are rollers rolling about Lake Hylia. Good gracious.
Yep, that's one of the many dangers of randomizers. At least those are not in the dark. Because that could be worse.
True. Well, we've seen at least 2 bottles though. Actually, looking at this, it looks like most of our runners are just now getting to Kakariko, so. I mean, at this point, still not really much to report besides a couple
hammer.
of bottles. But never mind.
There we go. Yeah, the hammer is probably the only notable thing here that we're going to be benefiting from. As we get into Chicken Hut, a bunch of enemies that we do not want to be around with.
Nope.
Yeah, it looks like everyone's gonna get their hammer today, at the very least. I think that was a misinput from Norse. Yeah, he did an oopsie daisy there.
We do get to see one thing that this mode gives us, by the way, and that is killable thieves. In most other modes, those thieves are kind of annoying. Luckily, they only show up in Village of Outcasts and the Lost Woods, but they can really ruin your day if you're on low counts of bombs, arrows, or rupees. Oh, excuse me.
Thankfully, you can get some frontier justice and murder them outright right now in this mode.
Yep. Okay. So
I'm kind of confused with Soap. Yeah, I'm kind of confused. Slowpoke started in Link's house, but they didn't pick up the chest in the house there. I wonder what the reason that could be. But we do get a bow in Well. And not in Well, but in the dam's Sunken Prize.
Yeah. At the bottom of the Great Hylian Reservoir, as it were, and that's just got to make Slowpoke just feel great about, hey, I get to go into this dungeon that might need that bow. I just realized since we're in Key Sanity, there's a good chance or not Key Sanity, Randomizer. There's a good chance that we don't need that bow. Chat pointing out that the shovel was the prize in Link's house, and the shovel was, I believe, 10 arrows. So it's not really something we need to be too concerned about. Although, you know, speaking from experience, it's just one of those like muscle memory things when you start out at Link's house. If you see that chest unopened, you're like, wait, what? You know? And it's so quick to do, you might just end up doing it without your brain being able to send the override signal of, hey, you don't need that.
At least Muldrone Cave, Mini Mort Cave, is filled with mini morts.
Times. There's our
hey.
slippers.
We still need to locate those 7 crystals, so
luckily this is open, so we have that information available as soon as we have a map check, or piecemeal as our runners go into the dungeons. For example, we know that Eastern here is a pendant. Oh, Ballmaster, really?
Yeah. I'm starting to think we're going to be seeing a lot more spike rollers, though, because unfortunately, Lumaga had to deal with them on their way out from Mini Mort Cave.
Yeah, that is one thing that I find tends to happen with Randomizer seeds is you just start seeing a really disproportionate amount of rollers. Like if you start seeing rollers, you should just brace yourself for good times.
Good. I don't know. Good times is a subtle way of putting it. We do get glove from the big chest in Eastern Palace. That's key component two to our access to Dark World. Just need the Moon Pearl. Why is there so many crystal rollers? I just noticed, and then there's our chain chomp.
Oh no!
Yeah, we're gonna skip that. We're gonna skip the ice cave now. You know.
Oh, and then Firebar in Hyrule Castle because why not?
Why not?
Oh
my
goodness! Really?
With a proper timed bomb, though, that takes it out very quickly. Just here's hoping there is no kind of Lionels in the escape sequence right now.
Nothing doing in the back of Hyrule Castle.
Meaning Mort being a little bit squiggly today.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like the first part of the Hyrule Castle doesn't seem to be giving us anything fruitful.
Yeah, looks like it's down to Dark Cross and Zelda's Cell here, both of which are kind of annoying.
Meanwhile, Norsk has managed to get over to the ice cave, thanks to the flippers and everything.
Does also have enough to get the King of Scams. Yet another mini Moldorm, and this one's playing for keeps.
Taking some notes from the big Nort.
I was about to say, Lumaga grabbed the bow, but like I'm just in there like just grab the pot, get a heart, and be done with it. And all that work for nothing. Oof. Oofta.
Once our runners find swords, this will be feeling a lot more of a normal seed after a while. It's always the beginning part that just gets you.
Not sure why Norsk just saved and quit there. Jay is heading to where I thought Norsk was going. Ouch, you jerk. Okay,
Got a
nothing
piece
on
of
Zora Ledge here.
Yeah, nothing on Zora Ledge. That's a well, even with the flippers, you can breathe a sigh because you don't have to deal with that. We got a bunch of thieves here.
I do want to point out, Jay has the cape. I did not see where that was acquired. The mirror is on Zora! Good gracious.
Alright, well, that's a very pricey mirror. You should hold on to that.
Cape was at Kakariko Well. Okay. Slowpoke dealing with the majesty that is this South Shore here.
CJ taking a look at the back part. Well, the second part of the Hyrule Castle, the sewers. Gonna check Dark Cross for us. I don't think anyone checked it, did they?
Slowpoke did.
Oh, okay.
I think we were talking about something else and we just missed it.
All right. And for those that are just joining us, welcome. We are in week 7 of the Link to the Past League Season 5. We have a co-op Randomizer for you today in the open settings.
Okay. All right. Well, Lumaga about to receive the mirror and tell Slowpoke the good news that he needs to jump back into the slightly dangerous Lake Hyrule and get that mirror at some point.
So I don't think any of our runners picked up much. But I think it's still
we have lamp and we have a glove and we
can
have
go to
hammer.
And with the location of mirror, we can do Tower of Hera, so we can definitely go to Death Mountain right now.
Yeah.
I wonder if one of our runners will piece that together and go, let's go ahead and do this.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of trying to drive at. I'm a little bit surprised we haven't seen a Death Mountain play starting to happen. Instead, we're just kind of seeing farm. Oh, Slowpoke had to farm rupees for his mirror. Oof. I just now pieced together that's what he was doing. But while he's over in the area, he's going to go ahead and check the desert ledge for information, and I would assume Agina's cave.
Yeah, hopefully Agina's closet will give us something beneficial. There's always that one zero fear check that you just not really overlook, but have a hard time routing in. Yeah. This will be that location right now. And if you're in a desert, you might as well get this out the way immediately.
Yeah, you generally do not, like, with me, it's either feast or famine for this location. I'll either check it early and get nothing, like, say, the Bloomerang, or I will leave it until almost a last location, and oh, hey, there's the progression item that puts the entire seed in logic. Cool.
It's when you least expect it. That's the nature of Randomizer for sure. Nothing is guaranteed.
Our raider from earlier is saying that they've never seen a Zelda Randomizer race. Welcome to what is probably one of the more shuffled variants of the Randomizer that's raced competitively, I would say. I mean, of course, there's cross keys where entrances are shuffled and the points don't matter, but this is pretty high up there as well.
Yeah, enemies are shuffled, bosses are shuffled, and including your items. So you gotta go find your items to be in go mode and finish the seed up as fast as possible. It's just a matter of where are they at.
The Eastern Palace overworld enemies proved a little bit difficult for Umaga there, but gets through it this time. Alright, Slowpoke meanwhile heading up for that mirror. And finding out the Sun Prize is big 20, so that's information
that's going to be very
nice
useful if they're that's going to be very useful if they're low on money at any given point.
Well, to be fair to our runners, though, this is basically the last major financial drain. It's this 500 rupee.
Kind of. They still need entrance to Palace of Darkness, and they still need to do the treasure game check as well as the digging game check.
Okay, yeah, true. That's a bit. Yeah, now that I think about it, you're right. I was more also just going, we have all the steps to easily Houlihan for enough rupees to cover most of that.
Oh yeah, Houlihan on the table still is perfectly fine too.
Yep. So the boss randomization for this mode is what's called full randomization, which means the bosses are all shuffled, and which bosses have 2 copies in the pool are also shuffled. So of the 10 bosses in Link to the Past,
3 of them will
have two copies in the pool.
And here we are with the big Tower of Hera play. I'm gonna CJ is going to move over to the east side of Death Mountain, while Norsk is going to take a look inside the Tower of Hera. This is pretty good play. As far as co-op goes, you want to split up the work so that way both of you can cover more ground than usual. So this is obviously a good idea.
Indeed.
And not too far behind, we get the Grouchy old man picking up the trail, going into Death Mountain themselves.
Yep. So I must have missed a map check here, but our tracker reporting that Mothula is going to be the boss we face here in Tower of Hera. I know in key sanity modes where the maps are shuffled, once you pick up a map in Randomizer, you can check the map. And speaking of map checks, there's overworld check. Looks like we got a 5/6 crystal on ice and the green pendant in Palace of Darkness, and the rest were regular crystals. That is a vanilla moon pearl. Oh my god.
Oh man, that's delicious. Can I get some root beer to go with this vanilla?
Yeah.
And we finally are seeing weaponry as well, so we're slowly getting the stuff we needed. And Mothula, man, you know what? This, without the moving floor, this feels easy to do.
Yeah, I was about to say, one of my favorite things to call for in a regular race is when we go into Spike Woods' boss chamber, I say, now time for our boss fight, conveyor belt room with spikes that just happens to have a giant moth flying around in it.
But yeah, Norsk Maddie is taking the first crystal of this seed in the race, putting a point on the board for Cabookey Hundo activist department.
So the Mothula wasn't called so much as information we had from a map check. And I have been corrected, by the way. The item you pick up to receive the boss information is actually the compass, according to chat, so I stand corrected.
Yeah, going back to get the Moon Pearl makes a lot of sense. Well, no, CJ never went into the Tower of Hera at all.
Yep.
So this is their first time going in. Which, knowing that where the items are at, thanks to their teammate, and vice versa, will help them out covering a lot more ground a lot quicker.
And Slowpoke, unfortunately, taking a bit of a death there.
Yeah, it's really rough fighting, dealing with that. And yeah, Death Mountain's been really rough. Let's put it that way.
Yep. Remember, this is a 2-on-2 race, so team members are actually actively in a Discord channel reporting their findings to each other in this mode. It is Norsk, Maddie, and CJ on the left side of your screen are on one team, and Lumaga and Slowpoke are on the other team.
We get a first look in Hype Cave, 5 rupees, a piece of heart, magic powder, a single rupee, and some bomb. And that's a 2 out of 10 Hype Cave.
Well, I mean, it depends on what that powder has for us, because that powder is absolutely 100% in logic right now.
Yeah, we can totally go in the Magic Bat Cave and see what we get from there, but as far as it goes, if it has nothing, that's definitely a 2 out of 10. And we get our fire rod in
Hyrule
Hyrule
Island.
Lake.
I wonder if we had seen that before and we just completely spaced on it because we were talking some of the other finer points.
They probably scouted out when they was doing Hobo, so they can do that very quickly from the starting point. I feel like that's like the first thing you'll do if you're in this kind of a seed and you already got flippers. You go ahead and on your way to Hobo, you scout it out.
Chat confirming that one of our runners did scout that location during the initial swimming portion of the seed.
All right.
We do see Spike Cave there. Nothing doing there.
I mean, just a bunch of money. So I guess they'll be pretty set for life now. They don't really have to do much, but their partner still probably needs some money just to do all those other checks as well as get entry to Palace of Darkness.
Mad Batter check here is nada.
More money. We always could use a little bit more money.
Except I think that was literally 1 rupee.
I mean,
I wasn't
no, that was 50
rupees.
rupees.
Rupee
That was
count,
50
It
rupees.
looked like a green rupee.
It was a green 50 rupee.
Oh, okay, it was 50. All right. All right, we're heading for Skull Woods here.
Yeah,
Oh, nope, not quite. Well, we're not even in Dark World yet, so.
Yeah, we're not in Dark World yet, but I feel like when you have Dark World access between you and your partner, one of you will have to bite the bullet to go into Skullwood. So Norsk is definitely going ahead and do that. CJ is going to check out Palace of Darkness. They do have the money to do this, so.
Which is probably why the tasks have been split up such, because CJ has 575 rupees, about to be 465, whereas Norse Maddie is sitting at 68. So Norse is going to have to do to stun a few enemies to get enough rupees to come over here at some point.
It may not be even worth it, because if I'm not mistaken, clearly this is a pendant dungeon. So if there's nothing important CJ is in that's coming from here from CJ,
yeah,
they can skip this dungeon entirely.
So this is a pendant. This is a green pendant Palace of Darkness. So,
all right, I forgot.
5 items in the dungeon plus 1 more for turning in the green pendant.
We do get the flute, and that's going to be really useful later on.
Yep, we are going to need that to get to Misery Mire at bare minimum.
Yep, one of our required dungeons, for sure.
Hey?
Thankfully, as you can see in Palace of Darkness, you can not worry about the mimics, because most of the time they will be random enemies, so you don't have to really have bow requirements here.
Yep.
Well, besides going to the boss, that is, because that's definitely a bow required for sure.
Engators and a mini Helmasar. Yeesh.
Yeah, if I know CJ, he'll definitely be... Oh, well, he tried hopping across the bridge. There we go. Pretty sure CJ is going to try to save as much as not spending as much keys here. So...
Yep. Ew. Ew.
Oh!
Oh, no!
Excuse my volume there, but I had to be disgusted about this because we have Viddy in the worst room ever.
Yeesh.
I would leave. I'm not gonna lie. I would leave.
Yeah,
I would not
feels
deal
like
with this. But
it feels like a comeback when you have silvers or more bottles sort of situation. Yeah.
you're on green mail. You got like, I understand you got like 8 hearts. You thought you can handle that. You got a bow. You got some ammunition. But Vinny on that room, in that room alone, is just, oh lord.
Let's see here. We did find Ice Rod in Palace of Darkness.
Well, that's
Turtle
another
room, and Quake Medallion in the dark hallway, U-shaped hallway. So, and
green
then we get the
pendant house.
BMOS that's going to just mess up our attempts to bomb jump.
Silvers and Skull Bridge. Oh my god. We're going back in there now. It's time for a grudge match. I understand now.
Yep. All right.
Like, all right, no, we got green. We got what we needed.
Yeah.
27 silver arrows. Sign me up.
Problem solved. Now you just need to survive this hallway with not enough magic to use the fire rod.
Well, at least you get some small pots on me. It's still a pain though dealing with this room.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, probably slightly less of a pain than the vanilla room because you'd have Gibdos that are tracking you. But
Well, okay, yeah, but at the very least, you could lure them away from the torches first, and then start going through, lighting them up, lighting the torches up at least. But yeah, now with silvers, we can just make quick work of these eyeballs here, as you can clearly see.
Yep.
The difference in dealing with this room. Amazing. Take 2 and call me in the morning.
Yep.
We get the big key to Skullwoods. Okay, game. Okay, game.
Yep. Which is useless because we found 20 rupees in the in beforehand.
Yep, so we already
I'm
got
sorry,
both.
what was that on the? I missed it twice. Dang it.
Pyramid Ledge book.
No, the Bombos tablet.
Oh, Brianna King.
Okay.
But yeah. We don't really need to go through this dungeon anymore. We can just leave. Look, I have like a goddamn filling up my Brianna container that filters water. I had to make sure I get my intake of water today.
Hey, I have to stop myself from calling it the cane of Brian at all times, so... Alright.
With Desert Palace Axes, let's see what Slowpoke is gonna come across, which hopefully should be something huge. There's our big key. So we don't have to. Thankfully, we got boots already, so we don't have to worry about getting them.
Yep. I will point out we did not get the Desert Small, so we're about to get that in the big chest here. Because unless you tell it to do otherwise, the randomizer logic assumes that you're going to use your keys in the worst possible way. And allows you to, in most cases, there are a few exceptions. The game wants you to be able to open most doors. The exceptions I can think of are the Swamp Big Key and the Thieves Town Small Key. Can both be locked by their own requirements, I guess is how I would put it.
And thankfully, if that was the case, then you don't really have to worry about going into those rooms because you already gotten all of your items at that point.
Yep. We do get the Master Sword in Desert here. And a heart piece. Both of our items on the right side of Desert. Now, that's not something you actually see very often in non-key sanity modes. I usually generally tend to find that like there's one item on the right side, and then the other one's like either in the big chest that the big key was on the right side, or on the desert boss, which again is normally landless, but since we're playing Randomizer, could be anybody.
Yep. And it looks like Lumaga is going to leave, not going to deal with the boss for House of Darkness, opting to not take the green pendant.
All right, we know where 3 of our swords are, by the way, because there was another sword in the C-shaped house. We do also find the Titan's mitts in chest game.
Yeah, this is looking to be. I feel like this seed's going to end pretty quickly, very soon.
Yeah.
With the way these item progressions are coming up. We just need Kane of Samora. And to figure out where is our entry for Turtle Rock and Misery Mire.
So that means the trip into Pendant Pod is looming large for our runners right now, because that ice rod is going to be required if we find any Trinexes. Trinexi?
And you know what? I'm just gonna say it outright. You might as well go to Pod right now and get that ice rod just because
Yeah.
the existence of Trinex can still be a possible factor.
And we find Cold Stare hanging out in the
there.
desert. That seems like a ill-advised move.
I mean, you gotta get your Sunny D. Can't blame Cold Stare for needing their daily dose of sun.
Slowpoke trying to get off some Sword Beam dupes here. Does get all of them.
Amazing work there.
Yeah, if he had not gotten all of those off, he would have actually had to come back. Because he would have run out of magic before the shell came off.
Yeah, that's that experience runner knowledge right there. Oh, be right back.
Now has to play it safe here. We are on Blue Mail, but Cold Stare Hugs still hurt. And our best weapon against these Cold Stare puffs, now that we have no magic, is going to be that hammer. Which does do tempered damage, so it's not like an imposition, but it's still a little bit on the painful side. Lumaga is now in Skull Woods. Lumaga is going to get those silvers. Hopefully before he drops in on Vitreous. Oh, we have a vanilla blind and thieves sound. Good catch by our tracker there, or one of our trackers. DJ, taking that information, that intelligence on, hey, silvers are on Skull Bridge and Vitreous is waiting for you in the Skull Woods boss room. So, yeah, you may want to go under the bridge first. Because you don't ever want to feel how he did that day. All right, silvers making quick work of Vitreous here. We're just gonna take taking Jeremiah for a bit of an adventure, cleaning up these hammer pegs first. Norse getting a little bit of insurance money because Norse does still know that the CJ actually has gone to Palace of Darkness. I missed that. My bad.
Yeah, I believe CJ was the first one to step into Palace of Darkness, so
I had
it's
it
all
backwards. Good. So Norse, knowing he needs to go to that Palace of Darkness, is getting some money.
Gotta get that money. He should be able to have enough.
Yep. Unless the Palace of Darkness overworld enemies decide to repeatedly troll Norsk, kind of like these ones right here are doing for him right now.
You know what this feels like? Oh,
Keith
well,
Smoke
there we
is in
go.
Mire Shed.
Let's
The
go.
keys under the doormat. Good gracious.
What was the entry to this? Was that
Looks like our trackers are saying Quake, so
okay?
that Palace of Darkness required, not for the Ice Rod as of yet, but for that Quake medallion. Oh, Lumaga didn't do bridge first.
Oh boy. He is gonna hate the fact that when he goes to
Trying
bridge,
for the bomb strats here.
this is a valiant
And
effort.
spins. That was a valiant effort. Not quite good enough. We'll see if he decides to pick up if he has the same exact arc that CJ did there, or excuse me, Norse Matty did with. Oh, yep, he's getting it.
Yeah, he's
It's
gonna.
happening.
He's gonna look at this and like, well, geez, this makes my life a lot more easier. There we go. He doesn't have that much magic, but he can still eat the economy. Oh wait, he's using it to the. Oh boy, he may not have enough now to light those torches, but
Yeah,
maybe he's
he'll
hoping
get a
for
couple
item
of
drop.
pickups here
Yeah,
by
there's a
doing this room the long way around,
yeah.
which should give him enough with the lamp to get to the further magic in the other two torches.
Yeah, into like the last torch with the fire rod. There we go. Hopefully that should be enough.
To answer a question in chat, the audio for our runners might be available on their individual streams.
Okay, yeah, totally enough.
Right, there we go.
What did they pick up from blacksmith? I didn't see that. Was that a sword?
No.
Oh, hook shot.
Oh!
It was so thin I couldn't tell for some reason.
And I just hadn't seen it entirely because I was too busy looking at other things, so...
But yeah, this is definitely looking to be a seed that's going to be pretty done pretty soon. You was worried there he was going to die on video again, was you?
Yep. because I knew based on the timing that Viddy was about to fire off a lightning shot. So
Nah, I have faith in the manga. He wouldn't die to Viddy twice. That would be silly.
Alright, moving onward now. Norse in Palace of Darkness picking up that Quake. And more than likely that Ice Rod. Alrighty. While we're seeing some repeats and some traversal here without too much interesting going on pickup wise, our one of our trackers did just drop all of the relevant links in the chat. We've got the links to the individual runners' streams, some of which may have Discord audio available. Our commentary crew, myself and Esper Hub, our trackers, Seru, and I just butchered that even though they posted a pronunciation guide, I just didn't have it in front of me, and Evelyn. And then also, there's all the information for the league. This is week 7 of the regular season.
Yeah, if you're interested in looking for any more matches after this, you should definitely take a look at that main website and look in on the schedule. This is the last week before we go into our playoffs. So after this week, we're going to be seeing our top runners from the Invitation League square off in the brackets, as well as our wild card placements. So that's definitely worth looking into.
We're gonna see Hookshot Cave here. CJ never picked up the powder, so had to get a little bit creative to avoid that anti-fairy there.
We are in go mode. Totally in go mode.
Right, and with that information, CJ is going to head into Turtle Rock and see what the deal is here.
Yep, just a matter of finishing up Desert Palace. Then, of course, we still need to finish up Swamp Palace, Ice Palace, Misery Mire, and, of course, Turtle Rock.
Yep. And I'm sure, I'm sure our runners want to at least try and find another sword just for comfort's sake, because Master Sword Ganon fights, just in general, are pain.
Yeah, they really are.
Like, Silver's makes the back half of the fight more bearable, but you have to get to that back half first, and, ugh.
Who knows, maybe we'll find some bacon over here at some point. I'm pretty sure of it.
Chad also correctly pointing out, Ganon is the least of our worries in Randomizer. But it is still a worry.
I mean, we got Silver Arrows, so most of the bosses are not going to be much of an issue. Besides, who would be an issue if you had Silver still?
I would argue Argus, but that's just because I suck at aiming.
Yeah, Argus can be an issue. Okay.
Yeah. We have found 3, but with our runners hitting go mode in slightly different ways, the ones that we've found, well, actually, no, I stand corrected, because one of them is here in Desert. If Chad team decides to check the right side, which it looks like they might be, because it looks like...
Please do. Please do.
It looks like Norska's checking this chest for the small key, which obviously we know he's not going to find. It's on the tour.
Yeah, they're going right side if this is the case.
Chest.
Yeah, they're definitely going right side. You wouldn't stick around this long when you have the big key and not mirrored out yet by now. You will use the mirror to get to the right side much quicker. Or no, you can just leave, never mind.
Yeah. That could be big.
Oh boy.
Now, that all being said, it's I don't think Grouchy Old Men checks C-shaped house either.
I feel like they're going to be at one point going to. Once they get to
good point, because Grouchy Old Men need to do Smith Chain for hookshot. So they're going to be down in that area anyway.
Yep.
Sorry, my brain just misfired. I forgot that they hadn't done that yet. So yeah, Grouchy Old Men are absolutely going to be doing C-shaped house, because they're still looking for hookshot, which is on Smith Chain. So that's going to be a level of comfort for Grouchy Old Men that might come into play in this race.
What I don't seem to like, though, is Lumaga's already in Swamp Palace without the hook. Unless he has a hook shot already, and we just don't know it. I feel like you don't step into Swamp until you get the hook shot, in my personal opinion.
They don't even have mitts yet.
Yeah, I would be...
That's in...
Yeah, I'm not sure about this kind of routing, but I feel like because if neither you or your teammate had did Thieves Town at all, and you're still looking for mitts and hookshot, I would do those. I would do Thieves Town first, hands down.
Yeah.
You might as well get that.
At the very least, Village of Outcasts and the front 4.
Yeah,
I'm not saying fully commit to Thieves, but at the very least, Village of Outcasts is right there.
Yeah. Like, even if the routing feels a little bit weird, checking a dungeon without this key requirement is... I always feel like it's an unspoken sin to me. And if it's going to be here, then that's fine. I'm going to die on that hill of getting it in its vanilla location. But I'd rather do every other check trying to get the item rather than gambling on the item being in its vanilla location, in my personal opinion.
Norsk, by the way, has officially given up on that desert sword. So that's not information that Chad is going to have.
And Slowpoke takes down their Viddy on the I was gonna say Viddy on the treadmill for some reason, but this is not a treadmill. This is a...
I mean, it moves like one, so... It moves like several, actually. This certainly is a Meyer lobby. Gross.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this really is a Meyer lobby. Gross.
So if you don't have Sword Beam to handle this room when they're in hiding like that, you can also use the hook shot to kill them as well. But it may take a while because especially if you miss the shot.
Slowpoke, where are you going? No. Okay. But I must not have. I must have just missed him being portal stuck or something because he was fluting away and I'm like, no. Vanilla Trinex.
This is probably the most impressive thing I've seen in this randomizer so far. Vanilla Trinex.
Vanilla Trinex and Vanilla Moonpearl. 2 scoops.
Can we have some sprinkles on that? I would love some sprinkles.
Oh, and Tracker also correctly pointing out Vanilla Blind.
Alright, Vanilla Blind as well.
And here's an even more interesting one. We haven't seen a boss duplicate yet.
That is true.
And with the way Full Shuffle works, we might not.
Yep. Hopefully all the extra ones are probably independent ones, which our runners are definitely avoiding a lot to not have to deal with going through the extra mile of, so...
So, Slowpoke just found the extra sword in C-shaped house, by the way. So they are going to have that information. I'm assuming Slowpoke also did chess game and has Titans. I am hoping against hope on that one.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Otherwise, he would have gotten our friend Bob here.
Oh, good point. Jeremiah would not be freed without the Titans.
We get our first dive in the Ice Cave, but I don't think we're going to be seeing much here because CJ...
We don't need anything, and this is Icebreaker 100%.
Yep. And a little known fact, I believe CJ is very familiar with No Major Glitches speedruns, so this setup that he got right now probably is going to feel like just another day in the office for him.
Yeah. just with slightly more rule breaking than normal. Because if I remember correctly, Icebreaker is allowed in randomizer racing, but is actually not allowed in No Major Glitches speedrun.
Yes, that is correct.
And yep, CJ is committing to just going to this boss because they're gonna be flipping the switch here.
Yep.
So gonna be proceeding directly to the boss room. Do not pass go. Do not collect 500 rupees.
Oh, doing sword spin tricks. Let's go. Want to mix the pause buffering? There you go.
So I would definitely put Chad ahead in dungeon clearance right now, but Slowpoke at the very least is going to have him some ability to kill bosses a bit more effectively. And Lumaga may or may not, because Lumaga is still showing his Master Sword and is in the back of Escape.
I don't think he ever went to Thieves Town.
Yeah, I don't think.
Which
he's
is
been to that
which
area
brought up my first argument of him being in Swamp first. Yeah, and with not being in Thieves Town first, this is he stepped into Swamp probably in wasted effort, unfortunately.
All right. Lumaga looking for more magic? Question mark, I guess.
What was in desert? What fighter was in desert? What boss?
Hold, sir.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice cold stir fight by Norse Maddie, especially considering just Master Sword. Then again, also had the help from Bombos Medallion. So.
Meanwhile, in Ice Palace, we get Argus, which is quickly dispatched because CJ knows how to deal with it.
Yep.
Oh, they're doing the beam. Yeah, there we go. Successfully do the beam duplication glitch.
Oh, and get them corralled into the corner for a couple of hits on all of them at once. Nicely done.
Yeah, our runners are showing us a lot more than just a few flips as far as they go. A few flip tricks, as some would say.
Lumaga doesn't seem to want to deal with the hammer's weird hitboxes. Is just gonna go it a little bit slower with the sword spins.
That's absolutely understandable.
Yep.
Safety over speeds, especially like in a setting like this where you haven't really where you're this knee deep into a dungeon. I could understand if you was like you're able to go in here like very quickly, you may be able to risk it, but at this point in time, now it's not the good time to try to risk it.
Yeah, and especially in Lumaga's specific situation where he had to come back through the back of this desert at least twice.
Yep.
At this point, you're just like, I don't want to do this a third time. We are just killing this boss right here, right now. Even if it goes slightly slower.
And it looks like Lumaga is going to go ahead and grab their items from
Yep.
from their Village of Outcasts as well as Steve's Town dungeon.
Yeah, the key difference here is Chad is going to be down a sword, but they are definitely they have a pretty comfortable lead in terms of crystal completion at this point. And I'm not sure the sword advantage, while it is not insignificant, because like Chad have 2 or 3 crystals to complete. Norse has 2 and is in the process of doing one of them, and CJ has 3. Whereas Slowpoke and Lumaga have 3 crystals cleared each. And Lumaga is still gathering the rest of his toolkit. Which, to be fair, they're all right in this really compressed area, and we're going to be fine. But that's still, that's still, more setup time before he can get to clearing dungeons.
So here's the $1 million question. What would be the thing that would mess up what would be the thing that'll mess up Chad entirely?
I mean, about the only thing I can think of is just having a heck of a time versus an ice Trinex that happens to be blocking the Gans Tower Big Key. Which is a very specific set of circumstances.
Yeah, I feel the same way, because if the pacing that they have keeping up with, if they're with the momentum that they got, it would be their seed to lose on the circumstances of like being hindered in that way.
Our tracker also positing a Wallmaster at the Gans Tower climb before Aga 2 room. Gross.
Oh man. If he thought dying during the gauntlet climb was that bad, wait till you're in the room before Agina and getting wall mastered.
I heard
I
you
have
were
seen
looking for
people
that new sound. Well, get a load of this. Get wall mastered and do the entire Gans Tower climb over again.
Yeah, I have seen people forfeit on runs like that when that happened.
I mean, I suppose, the other thing we do need to be aware of is, Master Sword versus Tempered Sword Ganon is a pretty significant time investment, but again, not enough to be a makeup for 4 bosses of a head start.
You also got to think about it this way: they have Tempered Sword, and they're just now about to fight their four fish boss, so they may be able to make up time with that amount with their sword, with the Tempered Sword damage. So it's not to say like we, even with the Ganon fight, that they may have some time that they can cut off from that compared to Master Sword, but also these other bosses as well, they can cut off time pretty well with that amount of sword damage.
CJ just went into Hype Cave and grabbed powder and left. I'm assuming that's just to have the ability to get fairies.
I would think there'll be a safety check. Most definitely has to be a safety check, because they're already in go mode at this point. So they was like, well, we could just get another safety just to be sure. We're already in the neighborhood. We might as well grab it.
Right, Norse Matty in the process of his 7th crystal here.
Meanwhile, CJ is doing the dungeon high five, entering in their Misery Mire.
Not gonna get hooked. I would certainly hope so.
Yeah, they went to get Steve.
Yeah. We have not seen Armos Knights yet.
And was his name Roger? I don't remember.
Isn't Armos in Misery Mire? Oh, whoops. Okay, yep. Listen, there are 4 screens to track, and they are all doing different things. It can be rough.
But yeah, Armos is in Misery Mire, so the fight shouldn't be that hard, especially since you got silvers. And we get red mail in Swamp Palace. I just not realized that. So
Right, not bad.
So yeah, the climb for GT will be even painless. And for those that are just joining us within today, how y'all doing? We're nearing the final part of our run on the Link to the Past Randomizer Season 5 Week 7 with a co-op enemizer. All of our enemies are shuffled, and there's a full boss rotation, so you can get all the bosses in any of the dungeons, and then you have 3 more bosses that are duplicates. Well, within those 3, not 3 more, but at least within those 10, there's 3 other bosses that are duplicates within one another. As you see in Swamp Palace, we got Cold Stare.
Alright, so that is Norse Maddie's 7th crystal, meaning Norse Maddie is going to be heading for Gan's Tower here. And that also means, yep, there you go, our tracker setting it off in chat. There are 22 locations in Gan's Tower where that big key can be. Enter a number in chat, 1 to 22. Where you think it's going to be closest without going over wins a prize. That may or may not exist and may or may not be useful.
You know what? I feel lucky. I think it's going to be 3 this time.
Ooh.
Someone tells me this is a very quick get-in tower as well.
Well, if you're looking for grouchy old men to put a bit of a damper on Chad's playoff hunt, you're rooting for it to be in the high double digits.
Oh yeah, of course.
But yeah, with how quick the rest of this seed has been, I've got to agree with you. I think we're gonna see a fairly quick big key. Probably, I'm gonna say in the 7 range. I'm gonna say we see a hope room into left side, and it's gonna be in the Stalfos room.
Knock on wood.
This Mire room, by the way, is probably one of the more annoying rooms to fight most bosses in, simply because the top half of the room is still poisonous.
Yeah, it can still damage you. The floor is lava and all that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Norse still had... Norse still actually needs to do Turtle Rock. Oops.
Yeah, he still needs to do Turtle Rock.
Well, now you got plenty of time to get those guesses in, chat. Jeez.
It's gonna be alright. Nothing wrong with early game guessing today. But this will be a very quick Turtle Rock because CJ went through here already, so they know where the big key is at and they know where they need to go. So
Yep.
Not too far off, we do get the Maga finishing up their Misery Mire, and we got Slowpoke going into Swamp Palace. So
And
grouchy old man, not too far off.
Actually, Slowpoke is doing the opposite of his name here because sneakily enough, Slowpoke just needs to do Swamp and Mire here, and is also going to be at 7.
Yeah, he's not too far off.
Granted, they are going to be slowed up a little bit by the fact that neither Lumaga or Slowpoke, I believe, has gone into Turtle Rock. So they're going to have to take it slow until they find the big key. But Slowpoke is actually done with Turtle Rock. So Slowpoke is actually going to be heading to Meyer after this. Okay. Both members of Grouchy Old Men in Swamp at the same time. Nice.
And we get some diver down action from Slowpoke.
Yep.
They get their red mail. I'm pretty sure they're very happy they didn't have to do
Okay,
that Swamp.
so let's reset here for a second. I already did this explanation, but I'm going to do it again, and there's an important distinction now. CJ now actually has 7 crystals and is heading for Ganon's Tower. So there are still 22 locations in Ganon's Tower. We still want a number from 122 in chat where you think that big key is going to be, but we are going off of CJ's numbers because CJ will be the first person to enter Ganon's Tower. Or will he? Gonna be pretty close. I mean, yeah, well, Master Sword try next fight. Gonna slow Norse Matty up a little bit here.
Yeah, it's possible. Well, not possible. No, it is gonna be. It's gonna take a little bit, unless they start switching to the hammer.
Norse thought about taking.
I would take the emergency exit.
Yeah, this.
I would.
This is certainly a choice.
Because if you run out of magic during this fight, if you do not have any kind of liquid in your bottle, you'll be going back as far as the big chest room.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Norse would be going all the way back to the front.
Or to the front,
Norse,
yeah.
Because Norse cut across.
Okay, he did take down one head, so this will be... As long as he
Norse
keeps it simple...
also has a green goo, according to Tracker, so...
Okay. So yeah, they're good together.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd hate...
CJ is going to be our entrant into Ganon's Tower, and thus who we follow for the Ganon's Tower guessing game here.
And down goes the second head for the Norse.
And I'm not sure how relevant this is going to be, but remember, in co-op weeks, the winner is determined by an average of the team's finishing times. It is not first across the finish line. It is an average of the 2 teams' times. So if a member of the team is lagging behind, it can sometimes still go to the team that finishes 2nd and 3rd place, as opposed to the runners finishing 1st and 4th. Okay, we do see full left, so that's 1, 2, 3, nothing doing. 4, 5.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I called Stalfos room, but I also called it going Hope left. 5 is the winner. That's gonna be looks like that's gonna be got this Missionar, which I probably butchered that. You have won the prize, which is a lifetime supply of linked device to randomizer seeds, redeemable at ALTTPR.com. Emulator not included, void where prohibited. And as always, if your standard seed lasts longer than 4 hours, please consult a YouTube tutorial. We now return you to this Ganon's Tower climb already in progress for CJ. Not looking like there's too much in the way of resistance so far.
Besides that mummy. But
Gibdo not as intimidating in this scenario. Now that we have a bunch of hearts, silvers.
Oh yeah, that's right. You can kill it with silvers. I forgot about that.
Yes, Gibdos can be killed with silvers. Can be killed with the fire rod. Can be killed with bombos.
Also, this room is a mess.
Exchange a seed for 1/20th of a cent. I'm pretty sure that would get Nintendo mad at us, so no. There's still plenty of race to be had in this race. Don't get me wrong, but this is Chad's game to lose at this point, even with the sword disadvantage. With them both being in the Gans Tower climb, with their opponents at least at best half a dungeon behind them.
You said half a dungeon or a dungeon and a half?
Half. Oh, yeah, no, it's closer to a dungeon and a half. I keep misreading these marks. That's my fault.
No, that's good. Cause yeah,
the
manga still got to do Turtle Rock, and then we still got Slowpoke who still needs to do. No, I'm pretty sure they did Swamp Owls, right? I know, right?
Possible. Yeah, they were in Swamp earlier. The tracking software is being a bit annoying to our trackers.
Oh yeah.
Tonight, so Old Orm just kind of chilling out a little bit earlier in the tower than he usually appears.
I mean, he thought the sand looked fun, and he wanted to build a sand castle, so you can't blame him. Or he was looking for his other eye in the sand, which is rather tragic when you think about it.
Alright, so Slowpoke grabbing some backup here in the form of a blue potion.
This is always a smart idea.
Yep.
Especially when it feels like you may have to do another cold stare fight.
By the way, I do want to point out, Norsk is catching up to his partner in this Gadden's Tower pretty effectively.
To be fair, the beginning part had some very weird enemy placements, so it's not surprising to see not feeling very familiar with how to deal with the enemies in the different settings, so to say.
Cat, stop trying to make Wallmaster in Pinball Room be a thing. It's not a thing. Stop it. Cease. Halt F4. Almasar King on the Moldorm 2 platform. Gross. I mean,
it's at least it's not that bad, but it's still kind of bad.
Yeah. Although the limited motion does help you a little bit here too, because it makes it easier to do the bomb strat to crack the mask, which is actually faster because it's 5 bombs versus like whatever ridiculous amount of hammer bonks it is. Like I think it's like 16.
That is if you... Oh, wait, there we go. And we just get a silver arrow into that third eye, and there he goes. Down for the count.
$17, thank you, chat. Oh! Lidation sword! Okay! Oh, All right.
We got a bailout here. That is some maximum cheese level randomizer, by the way.
Wow. I mean, they even with the sword disadvantage, this like Chad had this race, but that's just Rando going, here you go.
There is no excuse to lose this seed now.
Especially with that Aga too being as friendly as it was. Good gracious.
Very, very friendly. Well, no, I would like to say CJ made it look very easy, to be honest.
Well, that too. Like, you know, you got to have the skill to back it up. But those were some very friendly Aga 2 waves there. Oh, Norse Matty having a bit of a struggle here with the torch puzzle. Oh my!
I think they're trying to avoid the big ball. I think you have to take damage from that thing.
Yeah.
You just have to.
Well, the other thing that's going on is Norsk is running out of magic. And is gonna have to burn their blue potion. Oofta.
Thankfully, they don't have to fight any other, you know, things that require magic, so they should be in the clear.
Ganon?
Well,
I mean,
besides Ganon.
To be fair, should still have enough magic to be okay.
They got silvers.
Refill, but still.
They got silvers. And
yeah, you do kind of want to have the safety in your back pocket with no half magic. Just
I
in case
suppose.
something goes stupidly wrong.
I suppose. But I feel with the level of our runners doing this run, as far as the seat goes, I think it's going to be no issue. I trust in our runner skills to be able to deal with this very, very quickly, even with half of the magic that they got.
DJ doesn't hit the torch glitch, but should be fine.
Yep, this is going to be their forfeit, and down goes the big man.
Yep. And Norse not too far behind here, picking up that validation sword. Good gracious. And needs to survive the most dangerous 1x3 in all of Hyrule. There it is.
Finishing up with a... Go ahead. Nah, you go ahead. You got it.
Okay. CJ gonna finish in first place with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 21 minutes, and 8 seconds. And if I had to guess, his partner's not gonna be too far behind him. Having a bit more trouble with this Aga 2 than his partner did.
Down he goes. There we go.
Alright. Well, Slowpoke heading, taking care of Moldorm. And heading into the upper reaches of the gauntlet. Umaga still cleaning up the Turtle Rock here. They're running low on both health and magic.
They'll get a good clean refill of that once they get past Laser Bridge. So.
Yep. Does have to burn the blue they had in their back pocket just to have the magic to do this room, though, which not ideal. But again, as you said, there are some refill opportunities coming, and they're pretty well equipped for the Tri-Next fight, so it should be fine.
Meanwhile, their teammate Slowpoke is going through the paces of the gauntlet. Just going into the second half, I should say. And begin Norse Matty on their third phase of Ganon. They're going to be finishing it up this very soon.
Yep. Oh no, Silver! I went through weakness. Alright, shot one. Oh boy.
A little bit of hesitation, but that's fine. They can. Oh, that's perfect for a double. 1, 2. Oh, triple!
Oh,
Let's
baby,
go!
triple. A little bit higher than I like to see when we're talking about that high roll bridge, but well,
Yeah, they're
we'll work with it.
fine.
Norris Matty got to finish in second place with an official race time.gg time of 1 hour, 23 minutes, 52 seconds. And that is going to seal the win for Cabookey Hundo Activist Department and 3 points as the playoff picture continues to take shape here in the Open League.
Yep, very impressive runs from both of our runners on the left side. Runners on the right side are doing very fantastic work finishing up this seat as well.
Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and pull, we do have Cabookey Hundo Activist Department in the call, so here they are, CJ and Norse Matty. The GG's.
Oh, thank you.
GG's, thanks.
So what's your current thoughts on that run in the beginning part of it? Because it felt very hectic at first.
I told Maddie that I was going to come on here and say that he wasn't a good teammate because he didn't listen to me when I did my completely wacky starting route, and he was going to go do Hobo and Waterfall Ferry. I told him I already did those, so...
There's a part of me that didn't really believe him.
Yeah,
he's like, I think I remembered him saying he did Waterfall Cave, but I didn't remember the Hobo part, and I was like, why would he have done Hobo? That would make...
Yeah, no, that was a fun little, you know, since I'm on Restream, fun little, like, look at what you can do with the boots little moment.
Yeah.
I like going and doing that. Overall, I mean, Seed forced you pretty hard in the beginning to get into Eastern and then get your, what was it, your Moon Pearl out of Hera and all of that. After that, it was pretty much free as long as you check Smith.
Yeah.
Was really worried about not finding Tempered Sword just because I don't like to focus when I play against Ganon. So I was happy to find that on validation. And then, yeah, Maddie and I were talking the whole time that if we weren't so scared of Randomizer, you could have gotten a really good time on this seed because you could just straight up go mode everything. But we were looking for more hearts and more swords and more safeties and all that and all the dungeons.
Yeah.
So you could have saved yourself a little bit of heartburn on the sword situation. Your other sword was on the right side of desert.
Ah, yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna do that because it's way over there. And,
yeah, you was by the time y'all went to desert, y'all was already in the go mode setting.
Yeah,
so.
That was like,
Yeah.
well, I check stuff that's convenient, but not like soup. Like, I guess desert right isn't that bad with the mirror, but yeah. Well, that's
You
too
know,
bad.
I was just about to go into desert when I flew to the Mire area, and I think Maddie had just found silvers. And so I was like, you know what? Just in case there's something gross here, let me go and grab those silvers. And then I found red cane. And then shortly after that, he found hookshot. So, like, it was pretty much just be and go mode. So we didn't really have a reason to check desert.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess I'd rather take silvers over finding the tempered sword early there.
And while we were talking, Slowpoke 316 has just finished with a time of 1 hour, 27 minutes, and 19 seconds.
Yeah,
So-
this is like a blend of the best and the worst, you know? You get to play co-op, which is the best. And then sometimes you do the climb and there's 84,000 pickles and
Oh,
it's just the
yeah.
worst, but it's fun.
Yeah, that's the joys and the pains of an Randomizer.
Yeah, this
Especially-
is such a...
Yeah, especially when you had Viddy in the Skull Woods boss room. But then Silver's made up for that.
Yeah, I definitely... There were a couple of boss moments where I really could have done things in a better order. Like if I had done the chest there in the Skull Woods first, the Viddy would have been super easy. And later, when I went into the cold stare, I didn't have any. I was just short magic and just short hearts to do sword beam.
Yeah, you was
Tricks with the fire rod, so I had to leave. And then the Bombos was in Mire, so if I'd done Mire first, it would have been fine.
But yeah, to be really honest though, like finding those silvers was just really funny. It could have been anywhere, to be honest, but with it being there, it just added comedic value to it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I understand that. It was definitely funny.
I, in hindsight, put way too much effort into that Pengator room small key. I should have looked at that room and walked away, but instead I went in there and tried to kill everything for a small key, so that was fun. But that's Randomizer, you know, you're just gonna have wacky rooms. You're just gonna have rooms that, you know, I mean, all in all, I think like the GT climb was super nice. It was a lot of shadows, a lot of pickles. The bosses in there were okay. Helmasaur is kind of a pain in the butt if you ever get him in not his room, but other than that, I don't think there was anything too mean in this seed. Hammer Trinex almost got both of us in trouble, but we were able to pull it out. Oh, and then in Turtle Rock, that's another place I told Maddie that I was going to call him out on Restream. I told him, like, hey, you don't have to steal the key. Just go to Crystal Roller and get the one-off Laser Bridge. Then he goes to Laser Bridge and is like, what was on Laser Bridge? It's like a small key. He goes, I don't need that. Come on. Help me out.
Here's the thing. You gave me like...
he was while he was voicing his confusion on that, I was sitting here in the booth looking at his health situation going,
Yeah, the health was...
a safety exit?
His health was... no, I wasn't too worried, although I came one hit away from dying. But the issue is that I think he had given me information on like 3 different dungeons while I was in the middle of like the desert mire mess, and I just couldn't remember everything. This just wasn't going to be committed to the goldfish brain that I've got up here.
No,
I can only handle so much.
I think Maddie did all right. He was telling me about his Torches 2 adventures, and that was fun to listen to. But overall, you know, it's just fun to play co-op with friends.
I'm having a little bit of difficulty here with the bomb strat on Helma in Troll Norm 2 location.
Yeah,
I think doing the hammer is a lot harder here, to be honest. But they get it done pretty cleanly. There we go.
Well, I don't know if this room's the same way. I know that the hammer strategies in Hera is terrible because when he's like over the pit, he doesn't take damage. I don't know if that also applies in Moldorm 2 room or not. I've just always done bombs.
Yeah, I don't think so entirely because I think the pit in Hera is special, so to say. Like it's a special tile entity, so to say. So it's really hard to determine that. But yeah, as we see here, we got Lumaga finishing up this run very soon, doing their trigonometry. That's pretty clean.
Checking up on something here.
I think we should be able to get Lumaga and Slowpoke in here as well.
Yeah, that is what I was checking up on. No indication from either of them in the race time chat of not being able to come in. But with how these things are, it could just the bot could just be waiting for a signal and hasn't received that signal yet. So technology, jazz hands.
You know, nobody ever asked this when they come into the interview room, but how was the seed for you guys?
It was actually pretty enlightening. We saw some
Yeah.
we saw some pretty good tricks from coming from both of y'all. How y'all routed that like completely different from the usual Uncle and Sanctuary way. So that was fun to watch. And then you got doing the sword beam glitch with Fire Rod, as well as some very impressive like low percent kills. So
Oh yeah, Skullwoods scared me. I was real
Skullwoods
scared
is
at Skullwoods.
Skullwoods is terrifying.
That one scared me quite a bit. I don't think I felt too scared. I died somewhere. I died on Laser Bridge. For some reason, I was having a hard time on Laser Bridge, but yeah, I was just curious because you guys sit here and watch the whole seed, and everybody asks how the seed went for us, but I want to make sure you guys enjoyed it too.
Oh, we were joining a lot. We have a few divergencies that we were talking about and trying to theorize what could be the next potential item, as usual. And we also had moments where we just, well, I was yelping out in disgust as we saw Viddy and I think that was just the main thing that just is going to be stuck forever in my head. Just the disgusting view of that. But while I was talking, Lumaga just now finishes up Ganon with an official time of 1 hour, 34 minutes, and 58 seconds. So our grouchy old man has finished up their seed.
Oh, there we go. We got Lumaga here, and there's Slowpoke. All right, let's get him up here. Welcome on in, you two. GG's.
GG's. Thank you. GG's, Chads.
So what was y'all,
guys.
So what was y'all thoughts in the seed in the early run? Because it looked hectic.
Hectic's a good way to put it.
I was fine with it except for trying to find money for Zoro. But yeah, other than that, I was okay with that.
I think the very beginning was a little bit, I don't know, hectic or haphazard from my end, trying to figure out, okay, how is this going to unfold? And then once we got Dark World access, things fell into place. Or once we got up to the mountain, even.
So here's something that was chewing on my brain for a while. Lumaga, you went into Swamp Palace before Thieves Town. Was there any reason as to why?
Not especially. Just noticed, hey, we have access to this. I don't know. We got flippers pretty early. Why don't we check it out?
Yeah, usually I thought without the hook shot that would diverge you away from it, but you kind of went head first into it. So that took me by surprise.
Well, the way that I routed, I went up to Skullwoods and then did North Dark World. And as I was heading around, I'm like, instead of double backing, let me go grab that book. And hey, on my way down there, I'll do that dungeon and then use the book to go to Desert Palace. So it just kind of the way I was steering myself. I was committing to it.
Yeah, okay.
And to double back on that, I think Lumaga was going to Swamp Palace. Meanwhile, I was going to head up for village while he's taking care of that, headed to Thieves Town, and then kind of got distracted by all the progression.
Oh yeah, when the progression floor came in, it definitely pulled you away from going into Thieves Town, which had like a few more vital progression that was definitely needed for the rest of the seed.
And I take it both CJ and North Mandy hit Village of Outcast first, and that kind of opened things up.
You'd think.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure I did Pod first. Maddie was like, I'm in Hype Cave and all that. I'm like, it's Pendant Pod. I'm going.
Yeah.
that was my idea too.
And to piggyback off that for a second, I did want to kind of slightly stick up for Lumaga here. Speaking as somebody who has seen the worst this randomizer has to offer, sometimes you just kind of look at your loadout, realize you can do something even though it's not the best idea in the world, and just kind of go, okay, there's something in here just because of how painful it is. And something like a hookless, mittless swamp definitely qualifies as, okay, something gross is going to be in here. You know?
Okay, I understand. Yeah, I can understand on that perspective for sure.
Which is not a healthy perspective to have, but it's there.
Yeah, the seed
I mean,
overall,
Murray-
I think, for Maddie and I went pretty smooth. It was a lot of like, I was about to go into desert, and he's like, "Oh, hey, there's silvers here," and I was like, "Okay, well, let me just check my shed. Oh, there's red cane." I'm like, "Okay, I'll go get my silvers, then come back to desert." And he's like, "Oh, there's hookshot." And I was like, "Oh, we need to go and check what TR is because we might be in go mode." So
Yep.
it was a lot of just like we were just playing along and just happened upon everything we needed to beat the seed like. All in. We were like 4 items from go mode, and it felt like we got them all in like a 2-minute stretch.
So those
Yeah.
silvers, by the way, I head back to the boss of Skullwoods. Of course, it's Vitreous, and I'm like, whatever. I'm dead. I'll get that chest in the bridge, and I'll do this later. Well, it's silvers. I had to go back for that one.
I did
But-
the exact
Yeah,
same thing.
I
I did the
think
exact same thing.
Yeah, he did. Norse was the first one to go into Skullwoods and fight Vinny there. He did the very same thing. I was like, yep, we're doing the run back. This is understandable. You got
Yep.
silvers now. But yeah, I don't think I have any other questions. Unless you do. Why, Wes?
I do not know. Most of the stuff I had even thought of has been covered throughout, conversation or one of our runners bringing it up. So,
Well, cool.
yep.
All
I
right. that-
appreciate you guys hopping on to restream this.
Definitely. Thank you
Commentate
guys.
and track and all of that, everybody involved.
Yep.
I appreciate
no
all of you.
problem.
Yeah,
Speaking
thanks everyone.
Yeah, speaking of which, do give our runners a follow on their respective Twitch channels for giving us a fantastic performance today of covering this seed for this week for the Co-op Randomizer for a Link to the Past Randomizer League Season 5. If you're interested in seeing any more action that we have just saw, you can always take a look at the current schedule for this week at the Link to the Past main website and see what's going on, what remaining matches are left to be seen. After this, we're definitely going into our wild card playoffs, as well as our brackets for open invitation. We're going to have we still got a lot more to go. This is like, we're hitting the halfway mark here. We're hitting end game very soon at this point.
Indeed. So, I guess the one question I will ask, game 2. Is there a schedule for that yet?
Later.
Don't have it on the books yet. This week I'm kind of focused on the holiday, but next week I think there's a few of us available. From Grouchy Old Men, it will be myself and Verts.
It'll be me and Maddie again, because Garrison took 1 co-op away from me this season. I'm not letting him take 2.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's the good thing about this week. It's actually 2 weeks to be able to do these matches because of our holiday season over here in the US. So our runners got a bit more leeway to work with to finish up these races before the weekends.
Alrighty, so I think that's going to package everything up into a nice little bow. So once again, thank you to our runners for providing us an excellent race. Thank you to our tracking team, SaberU X and Avalyn, for hitting the buttons behind the scenes and hitting them again and again and again, and wishing they had a hammer to hit those buttons again sometimes. And thank you to my co-commentator, Esper Hub. Thank you to everybody behind the scenes here, not only at SpeedGaming, but running the league and the league's devoted restream channels, the ALTTPR League, for everything allowing these restreams to happen. And if we don't see you again before American Thanksgiving, happy holidays to y'all, and have a good afternoon, morning, evening, wherever it is, wherever you are.
See you next race.